Here are some of the shelters that I have, that I've used over the years, and I'm going to take you through, show you what they are, and how I choose which shelter I carry with me, and why. But from up here, you're looking at some vintage stuff here. You got Eureka Zeus 2. That, my daughter's backpacking tent. Terra Go Light Jam. There's a Bivvy, advanced Bivvy. Outdoor Research, Minimalist Bivvy. Outdoor Research, Bug Bivvy. Hennessy Hammock, MLD Tent, Tarp. And this is a Go Light to All Trails Poncho Tarp. And this is the 6 Moons Design Haven. And these are some other ones I didn't have room to set up. So I'll take you down and I'll show you what they are and how I use them, why I use them, and how I choose which one I'm going to carry with me. As a almost given, every time somebody starts backpacking or camping, they start off with a tent, an enclosed tent, framed tent, and that's good for most circumstances. I mean, this one, 4-season tent, I've used it in the snow, I've used it in hail, wind, summer. I'll open it up. It's got a big vestibule. Vestibule is the area in front of the tent. You get the tent here, keeps it out of the rain. You can put your stuff near your backpack, lean your backpack up against this. You can cook here if you're careful. So everybody starts off with a tent, but when you start really getting into backpacking, you want to lighten up your load, and you usually switch over to the frameless tent using trekking poles or sticks, such as the Haven here. This one is convertible. I can use it just the net, just the tarp, or combined. I can unhook this net, drop this net, pull it all over to this side. One person sleep right there, no problem at all. Or if there's bugs, use just the net and no tarp, open sky all night long. You got to consider weight. You got to consider volume, bulk. Will it fit into your pack with all your other stuff? For instance, when I'm going solo, if I use my small pack and I use that Sl3 Go Light teepee, it takes up a lot of room. It's like 7 inches by about 14, 18, 16, or something like that. But it takes up a lot of volume. Then if you have the pole with you and the Tyvek, but it's one of my favorites, so I make do. Is it going to be raining? Is it going to be a rock like up north, up by Yosemite and up Eastern Sierras? A lot of the places there you end up on mostly rock. There'll be some sand, some dirt, but it's mostly rock. So something that needs to be staked out like that can really be a pain, because the winds come up and you're trying to set it up and you're using rocks, and with one person it's really difficult. By the time you get one set up, you get to the third or fourth one, you just can't get a stake in, put the rock in, the wind ends up blowing it. It's just as easy just to get something like the Terra Solar Elite. It's a framed tent. I believe it used to be the world's lightest freestanding tent. I've seen somebody fly one of those like a kite off of a cliff. But that is easy. You stake it out 1, 2, 3, 4 places. Really easy. I mean, boom, 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 and then one frame, Y-shaped frame, like a slingshot, hooks in 3 places. Boom, you're done. Put the vestibule on, you're good to go. I've used that in snow. They say it's a 3-season. I've used it in 4-season. You can guide it out. You have a guide out things here on both sides, but it's one person. Bivvies, Bivvy sacks. They no longer make this one. They no longer sell this one. I'm not sure why. I believe the reason why is because of the weight. It's like over 2 pounds. But I mean, it's really easy to set up. It's Gore-Tex. See, it's Gore-Tex. It's 4 seasons. Removable net. closes down completely, stays off your face. This section here is a different material than this. This is super, super tough. This is very, very breathable, but it's 100% waterproof. For condensation, they even added, unlike most bivvies, they added this back here. Now when it's raining, you gotta shove your bag all the way down to the bottom. I learned the hard way. Because this will fit 6'8" dude, this long bivvy. I can get in here with my pack ahead of me, but if I don't put my all the way to the bottom when it's raining, it tends to puddle up here and it gets in. So you gotta have your sleeping bag all the way down so it's up like that, so this covers. You can close that up if you want. I leave it open year round. Shangri-La. I'm gonna come back and open up each one of these. Sl3 Go Light, one of my favorite companies. They used to sell at REI, a guy and a woman, but they got divorced, I believe, and the company went down. So they closed factory doors for a while. When they reopened to all trails. My trail, and ran for a little while, but just couldn't get the business, you know. Minimalist bivvy, 15-ounce bivvy here. I've used it in rain. You just turn over. But even light rain hits this, it's such fine mesh. The light rain hits this, it runs off. There's something on it, on what it's made out of. I'm not sure what it's made out of, but it's great. MLD, Mountain Laurel design. You could fit 3 people in here. It'd be tight, but you could fit 3 people, 2 people, very easy. 1 person and a dog, 1 person and a jaguar. Anything will fit in here. There's room to cook. Just cook up front, so you're out back there where the condensation's gonna build up. You got the Outdoor Research bug bivvy, just plain and simple bug bivvy. Get in. It's got a 3-inch bathtub floor around the head. It's got about an inch bathtub floor around the rest of it. 1 pole keeps it off your face. Then a lot of people got into the hammocks. This is the Hennessy Hammock. This is one of the founding backpacking hammocks, the Hennessy. Actually, this is a second series of theirs. Their first ones all came up. You entered through the bottom. You can get in, and the pressure when you lay down would keep that thing closed. But this is the side zip. Side zips, you got your thing for your wallet and everything. Put it in the side there, your phone, whatever. And you have tarps that come off these. I didn't have room to set up the tarps, but I'll show you the tarps. But this is awesome. It's got a ridge line. I have 2 little rings in here. For when I'm fly fishing by myself, so when I use this, I bring my Winston in there, and my Winston sits above me. I don't leave it out because I've had a bad experience where some dude walked through and was trying to make off with my stuff while I slept. So they can make off with my food, I don't care, but they're not taking my Winston. So I didn't have room for these. Let me show you what these are. This is the Hennessy Hex Tarp. It's a tarp that you attach above that. It comes down on each side, turns your... I'll tell you a little bit more about that in a minute, but it covers you completely, or you can leave an awning, you can leave a patio. But let me see. This is a 7-ounce, sub 7, under 7 ounces hammock. It does not have a net. Look at that, packed up to the size of a softball. Even smaller, almost the size of a baseball. No net. Great for lounging around camp. This is a British, let me open it up and see what the name is. Okay, these two are both made in the United Kingdom. The name has an X in it. X something. I forget the name of it. But this is probably the most comfortable hammock I've ever laid in. It's they're made hammock backpacking hammocks are made to lie diagonal in. I'll show you that in a minute. But this one has the most flat lay, where you're laying completely flat out of any hammock I've ever done, and the bug net is removable. You can unzip it all the way and put it into a little bag, a little net bag that's right here above your head. Very, very, very light. But when you get into hammocks, you get into a lot of stuff. I'll tell you about that in a minute. This is the same exact hammock, minus the bug net. These were both given to me by a guy in England who belongs to a hammock forum, and they test hammocks, and he sent me 2 of these, and in turn I sent him my case hobo knife. Sub 7 hammock, outdoor research, advanced bivvy. This is the same exact bivvy as that one. I did a trade for this one. I traded some stuff for this one in case somebody wanted to go with me on a bivvy hike. I'm going to do a bivvy video pretty soon, where if you want to go with me, you are required to use a bivvy. It's going to be only bivvies. Bivvy or bail. Matter of fact, I'm going to post that video soon after this, so watch for it if you want to be invited to a bivvy or bail video. See, they pack it very small. The poles are in there, but people are all trying to get light. I want to save grams. I want to save grams. I want to save grams. Well, the Cuban fiber, I've had the Z packs. I've had those tents, and putting them down, like I told you, I was up Eastern Sierra, hawks, 2 of them. Look at that. No squirrel, hawks, right on. Hawks are coming over to check out my shelters. They're saying, check out that dude. We've seen those in local mountains. They recognize them. But that Z-Packs is such a huge footprint. It's similar to this, but you try to stake that sucker out. Oh yeah, you gotta have another one coming off of there on the Z-Packs and coming off of there, and finding a place. Z-Packs, that's more or less like for through hiking the Pacific Crest Trail or something like that, where you're not going to stop and camp. You stop and camp, you get in these small tight areas with all the bushes and things. It's very difficult to find a place. A lot of times I'd end up way separate from the group I was with because I needed a place. So I ended up selling that and getting rid of it. Just wasn't my thing. Not very practical. You got your military poncho tarp. It sets up similar to that one, almost the same dimensions. You got your regular 9x5, I think, and then you got your 2 or 3 ounce pyramid tent by Sea to Summit. This thing is great when you're going solo. Great when there's a lot of mosquitoes. I mostly cowboy camp anyways, but when there's mosquitoes, there's no floor to that though. This is a doored hammock. What I mean by that, I'll show you. This is the Hex Hammock. This is an Aqua Quest bug tent. Similar shape as that, a little bit bigger. And Craig Dwella sent me this. He wasn't going to be using it, so he sent it to me. So when there's somebody going with me that doesn't have gear, I help them out and supply gear. This is one of the ones I'll loan out. As long as I get stuff back from people, I loan them things. You know, a lot of friends I have, I totally trust them. So the Hex tent, difference between this and this. The Hex tent would come up here and would ride about 10 inches, 5 to 10 inches above the ridge line. It would go straight across. That one tacks down 1, 2, 3, 4 places. You can use trekking poles out here, and you can create a patio so the tarp will come up and out. Now if it's really raining and storming hard, I peg it real close. Keeps the wind out, keeps the heat in. But if it's a hot summer day and you just want to keep the sun off you, I peg it way out to allow breeze to come in. Now, the one with the doors, the camouflage one, that rides across here, comes down, and then there's doors that you can pull and close in. So if the wind's blowing this way, or if it's really cold or snow, you can totally enclose it. It's basically a levitating tent. You're off the ground and you're enclosed completely. But the thing about hammocks is when you buy a hammock, you're just getting started. You'll find out very quickly sleeping pads are very difficult to use in this. They slide all over the place, and I don't care how warm it is during the day. Early morning when it gets cold, you're going to feel that on your lower back. You're going to feel it on your arms, the coldness. This doesn't insulate at all. So you use the hammock pad, you end up sliding off, or the hammock pad protects your back, but your arms does not. It gets cold. It's cold enough to wake you up. Sleeping bags. You'll find sleeping bags when you get in there, you'll end up sliding to where your head's here, your feet are like way up here. Then you got to get out, you got to unzip, pull yourself back up. There's only one hammock I know that allows for that by putting a handle up here, and that's the Clark hammock. Clark just sold out to Dutchware, so now Dutch Hammocks also has Clark hammock, and I don't know if they have the one with the hammock handle anymore, because now more or less people went to underquilts. An underquilt is like a sleeping bag with no zipper. It just hooks up here and it goes underneath, and it totally fixes all that. But a sleeping bag, you're laying on the sleeping bag, so the down underneath you is getting smashed. The left is getting smashed, so it's not really working. That's another thing about a sleeping bag. So you can either unzip the sleeping bag all the way down to the last 2 feet and use that as a foot box, and just use your sleeping bag as an overquilt, which is fine. Or you can, if you're going to go to lower temperatures, you can get an overquilt. They sell overquilts now, which is basically a sleeping bag with no back. So all the left is put in the insulations, put in the top, sides, and feet. And with the underquilt and the overquilt, you're good to go. So when you buy a hammock, you got to consider underquilt, overquilt, tarp, hanging systems. These are whoopee slings. There's a lot into hammock camping. So enough about hammock camping. Bug bivvy. Not much to say about that. You put your pad in, put your pad inside. There's Velcro straps. Then you put your overquilt or sleeping bag inside, and you're good to go. My daughter's cat exploring. My daughter's cat likes the haven. Many ways to set up a poncho shelter. I just did this real quick to show and give you an idea. Now you can close this up. There's rain. You can twist it so the rain will drip off that way. It won't get in. This is a real quick way. If you got a tree, wherever you end up, if you got a tree, you can one peg, boom, straight ridge line. Pull these out, put that trekking pole, you're good to go. And you would lay with your feet back there and your head there. Put your gear in this area. You're gonna stay dry. This is the 6 Moons design with the vestibule closed. This is with one side open. You can have one side open, or I can click that over and have both sides open. Both sides closed. You got air there. There's where you find it. Or you can take that whole vestibule off and just use the bug net. Or take the net out and just use the tarp. This is pretty basic design here. You got a huge vestibule here. Enough for 2 packs, 2 sets of boots. And there you got net on each side, a vent in the back, 5-inch bathtub floor, pockets on each side, pocket up front. I can drop this down here too, so it's a net coming through in case there's a breeze coming through and it's hot. Can peg this out. That's the net. Peg that out. You got a little porch here. Keep your pack up off the ground if it's raining. Lean your pack. My Go Light fits in there perfect. My circuit even fits in there. You have a pocket over on this corner, back over here for your keys and wallet and stuff. You got net there. The whole thing's mesh. Removable net. Put this back here. Tell you a funny story about this in a minute. You can use it with a pole. Enough room for 2 people to sleep back here. 1 person up here. You can put your packs there, and they're a little tight for 3 people. Perfect for 2 people. It is a luxury palace for 1 person. Now, without this pole, you can hook to here, go straight up. Last time I did that was in Bear Creek with Punk Rock Girl. That was a good night. Now you can take out another one of these stakes and hook up that, and you could have this. You could take this stake out and this stake out, hook that to that stick, and have a total 3/4 wind block with this entirely open. And there's a guy years ago, 2007 Hawk, 2007, 2008. I was in REI, I believe that was the year. And this guy goes, "Hey man, I'll be with you in a minute. I got one more guy to help." Okay, this is when they carried Go Light stuff. And the guy's in there, "Hey, I'm looking for this teepee, this Go Light teepee." He goes, "I see you have the Go Light jam, but do you have the teepee?" He goes, "I don't know what you're talking about." He goes, "Yeah, I haven't seen any around anywhere." He goes, "There's 2 guys on YouTube that have videos on them. One guy is here in the United States somewhere, and the other guy is in England, and he talks like that guy 2 in the Town or what, I forget the guy's name. Not 2 in the Town, Life of the Rich and Famous guy." He goes, this guy's laying down. He goes, "You can pin this back." And hey, kitty. "You can pin this back and pin this back, and then you're in total luxury." And I was laughing, and they both look at me. And he goes, "And the other guy?" I said, "Yeah, the other guy's me." He goes, "Dude, you're the guy with the video." I go, "Yeah." And the employee goes, "Well, you help him then. I'll help somebody else." So I go, "I don't need to help him. They don't carry him here. You gotta go online." But funny story. Go Light SL3. You can find these online used, or the Chinese companies made knockoffs of these. They're not as good, but they made these in a 3-person and a 5-person. I wish I would have got the 5-person. And those little toggles there are so you could put the net tent in there. I never did buy the net tent. When these first came out, that and the net tent was like $450. I couldn't afford that. I think I paid $175 for this. But never did get the net, but it's fine. I sleep on the ground, no problem at all. Another thing hammocks have, the snake skins. I'll show you that in a second. So these are the Tarp Shelters, and like I told you, the way I choose which one I'm going to use. Okay, if I'm going to the top of Baldy, I know up there it's mostly rock, and I know there's going to be some serious winds, so I want to go for something low profile. This would be great, that would be great, that would be great. If it's raining, that would not be great. That would be okay with a tarp. This would be okay anytime. But then if it's hot, might not want to take this one. This is a little warmer. This will add about 5 or 10, 7 to 10 degrees, I'd say. Easy. 10 degrees of warmth. So it's summertime. I'll use my 45-degree bag and leave it unzipped totally, and I'm okay in this. If I'm going up to Baldy with my daughter, this one for sure. This one, I would take this places like, if I'm going somewhere where I'm camping on a beach, this one would be good. That one would be good. This one would be okay. That would be alright. I wouldn't want to take this because you're going to be getting sand in and out. This one, the same thing. But you got to consider other trees. If the bottom's rock, is there going to be if you know the area, is there going to be like you're sleeping in between a bunch of brush and rocks? Bivvies are great for that. Everything here has its purpose. So I'm going to stop talking now and just take you around, show you everything from different angles. And if you have any questions, ask them in the comments down below. If I can't answer it, maybe somebody else can answer it, but chances are I'll be able to answer it. I've used all these hundreds of times. I've probably used the most. I've probably used this. I used this only for about 5 years, 4 or 5 years. Since then, it might be a toss-up between the Hennessy and the Go Light. The ones I've used the least, I've never used this one. That's a loner though. I've probably used this one the least. Not because I don't like it, but the only reason is I don't need that much room for one person, and most of the time I go alone. But like if Tammy goes with me, this is the one I use. This is the one she likes. Snow White, this is the one she likes. Snezana. It transfers to Snow White. Snezana is her name, Bulgarian, but transfers in English to Snow White. For those who don't know her, she likes this one too. Let's see. Hammock Tarps. Tarps. Bug nets. Bug tents. Hammock without a net. Hammock without a net super light. Hammock with a convertible net. Another bivvy. So these are the snake skins. You just roll your hammock up, bunch it up, slide them together. It'll keep it dry, clean. You can set this on the ground to hook up the sides and then open up the snake skins, just slide them off. You're good to go.